Stay with us here on TVC News at 1. Now, ahead of Saturday's governorship election in Ondo State, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has warned that any of its men caught in any act of compromise during Saturday's election will be dismissed with immediate effect. The Deputy Commandant-General Operations of NSCDC, Phillips Ayuba, disclosed this while addressing newsmen in Akure, the Ondo State capital, while confirming that the security agency had deployed a total of 6,225 personnel for the election. He emphasized that NSCDC is ready to maintain the record of successful and peaceful election exercise in the country. Senior reporter, senior correspondent Sarah Yeku joins me on the news for more updates in Ondo State. Sarah, the Ondo State residents are gearing up in less than 24 hours to elect the new governor who will steer the affairs of the state. Talk to us about the security preparations ahead of this day.
Of course, residents are gearing up for elections. It's just about less than 24 hours now. We're counted down. The countdown is now really, it's on the clock. And in a few hours, we'll get to know where the pendulum swings, if it will be a re-election for the governor or another candidate will be taking the seat or at the Alagbaka House here in Ondo State. And so it's been a grueling task for all of the stakeholders, talking about politicians from the various political parties, to security operatives, to INEC. They've been gearing up for this off-cycle election for months, and just in a few hours, we'll see how prepared they are. We understand that they've distributed the 8 sensitive materials to the 18 local government areas. So at the local government level, we'll see more deployment, distribution of these materials. Even for the security operatives also, they've deployed a number, and I can say a significant number of security personnel from the various paramilitary agencies, particularly the federal agencies, talking of the NSCDC, immigration, FRSC, the army, the police, of course, who is the lead security agency for elections. And so I'm at the police headquarters, that's here in Akure, just to see how prepared the security operatives are. And earlier we heard the Force PRO, that's the Olumiwa, the job. We talk about how prepared they are, talk about the deployment of on-ground patrols. Any moment from now, the teams will be moving out for a show of force around the Akure town. That's in the state capital here, just to show and tell those who may want to jeopardize or sabotage the electoral process that the police personnel, the security personnel, not just the police now, I'm talking about it cuts across all the federal security agencies, are on ground, fully on ground, to ensure that this election is peaceful and orderly.
Interesting to know. It's one thing to have security deployments in the metropolis, but then talking about the rural areas. But then I understand that we don't have much time to talk about this, Sarah. Thank you so much for the update. Sarah Yeku is a senior correspondent joining us from Ondo State ahead of the election. Thank you so much for the update.
Some residents, they are a bit nonchalant about the process. They kind of like don't really, talk much about the electoral process, as we've seen in the previous elections in Ondo State, where there's a decline of voter turnout in governorship elections. We're hoping that it won't be the same, maybe because we're in Akure, the center, that's the capital of Ondo State. That's why we see little activities ongoing in Akure. Most people are going back to the rural communities where they have registered as voters for this electoral process to vote. Today is a public holiday, of course, so town is a bit quiet. Just the sirens blaring around town would show you or tell you that there's an election just in a few hours. And so for the police, you can see one of the aerial materials they're going to be using for the drone. They're going to be using for the aerial patrol for elections tomorrow. So they say they are ready, and we understand that they've deployed more than 22,000. That's from the police alone. Then add on the special units and other security agencies. So we're just waiting for 8 a.m. tomorrow to see how INEC will fare for this election.